Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the iLink webinar from Latency to Real-Time Insights, building real-time data pipelines with hybrid systems on Microsoft Fabric. Today, we are going to talk to you about real-time intelligence and all the capabilities that Microsoft has brought into the Fabric infrastructure. Before we get started, quick introductions. My name is Chandler Stevens, Vice President of Solutions Engineering. Focusing on the data and artificial intelligence business unit within iLink. And joining me today is my colleague, Subbu. Subbu, quick introduction.
Hey, thank you, Chandler. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Subbu Muthukrishnan, Director of Data Analytics Practice, focusing on solutions engineering in the tech of Fabric, Databricks, and Snowflake. Looking forward to talking to you all.
Great. And Subbu will be joining us a little bit later in the webinar to take us through some of the industry capabilities of RTI and Fabric, as well as a live demo. So for today, we have a number of things we want to cover off on. Our agenda includes looking at the real-time intelligence opportunities at hand, looking at ingestion and architecture patterns. As I mentioned, Subbu will be taking us through a live demo of looking at real-time data pipelines. And then also we'll cover off on industry trends, what customers are doing today. For today's webinar, the key takeaways that we'd like for you to have are, one, why is there so much buzz around real-time intelligence? A lot of customers that we talk to sometimes open up with the question, well, do I really need streaming data? I don't have real-time or near-time insights needs. And we would make the argument that that's not entirely true, and we'd like to share our perspective with you on that today. Also, we'd like to share with you the opportunities at hand with this capability in Microsoft Fabric and explore the paradigm shift of real-time intelligence and how it really can have a huge impact on your business. And then see it in action. As mentioned, we'll have a live demo coming up later to take you through what this looks like end to end. But before we do that, we'd like to quickly introduce ourselves. iLink Digital was founded in 2002, and over the past two decades, we've grown into a trusted global partner in digital transformation. With a presence in over 25 cities worldwide and a team of more than 3,000 consultants, we serve 250 plus enterprise clients across a wide range of industries. Our global reach is matched by deep expertise. We're very proud to be recognized by leading technology firms, including Microsoft, AWS, Salesforce, and UiPath. And we've earned accolades, such as the Microsoft US Partner Award for Power BI in both 2021 and 2022. Our commitment to quality is reflected in our ISO 9001 and CMMI Level 3 certifications. We have a full spectrum of services across digital innovation, from digital strategy, data and AI, communication services, to IoT, Salesforce integration, RPA, and advanced communication services. We also offer conversational AI, licensing and managed services capabilities, ensuring end-to-end support for our clients. We work across diverse sectors, including healthcare, telecom, energy, retail, finance, and manufacturing, bringing tailored solutions that drive measurable impact. With a customer satisfaction score of 4.5 out of 5, we're proud of the strong relationships we've built and the results we've delivered. We're excited to share more with you today about how iLink can support your digital journey around real-time intelligence. Just a quick iLink data and AI overview, which is the group that Subbu and I focus on. We'd like to introduce to our capabilities here. We pride ourselves in being a full stack data analytics and AI service provider. With over 750 certified data analysts, scientists, and engineers, we bring deep expertise and passion for innovation to every engagement. We've been recognized as a Microsoft Fabric featured partner, and we're honored to have received the Gen AI Solution of the Year 2023 award from Confluent, as well as the Microsoft MS US Partner Award in both 2021 and 2022. These accolades reflect our commitment to delivering cutting-edge solutions and driving real business value for our clients. Our partnerships are a cornerstone of our success. We're proud to be a Microsoft Solutions partner for data and AI on Azure, with specializations in areas such as data warehouse migration, business intelligence, and advanced analytics. We're also a Databricks consulting partner, helping organizations accelerate their journey with lakehouse architectures and generative AI solutions. At the heart of our approach is an integrated service offering that spans AI and machine learning, data engineering, and business analytics. This holistic model enables us to foster a strong data culture within organizations and support them from strategy through to execution. So with that, let's kind of talk a little bit about what we are seeing. Data and AI are disrupting the industry. It's no doubt about it. And when it comes to transforming business operations, it's always been difficult to work with high granularity data, the ability to analyze a single data point out of trillions of records of information. As business leaders grapple with the opportunities and challenges AI represents for their business and how to best implement it, the consensus is that a strong data foundation is paramount for long-term success. Understanding that AI is only as good as the data it's trained on, 68% of leaders agree that unifying their data platform, both analytics and AI, is crucial for their enterprise data strategy. While the benefits of data unification include improved cross-organizational visibility and accelerated decision-making, there's also significant impact to a company's bottom line. Reports show that even a 10% boost in data usability can result in over $2 billion more in annual revenue for the average Fortune 1000 company. By unifying your data engine, you accelerate the value derived from your data and reduce the cost and effort of integration by centralizing and curating all of your data and analytics workloads. Despite understanding the need to invest in advanced digital transformation, we see organizations face many obstacles when trying to scale their data and analytics. Data and systems are generally disparate, siloed, and lack interoperability. Platforms are technical in nature, but require advanced analytics skills. And it can be next to impossible to gain BI adoption across the organization, in turn making it hard to streamline data sharing across teams and line of businesses. Costly integration tax and ongoing maintenance can also be cumbersome. Large amounts of data come with greater security risks, and there is a need to deliver on the promise of analytics, but we know resources are limited. In summary, integrating data and systems can be difficult and expensive, with technical platforms requiring advanced analytical skills. Because of that, the adoption of business intelligence across many organizations can be challenging to achieve, especially due to high security risk and limited resources. Many organizations go through the same process of collecting, analyzing, deriving insights from and ultimately acting on this idea of the data. As we said, data, it's everywhere in the real world around us. There's an explosion of high granular data in motion. There is data from sensors, IoT devices, digital applications, business processes, all the telemetry, logs, and more. The acceleration of data in motion means business and customer expectations are higher than ever. Advancements in AI and machine learning are enhancing that tooling. At the same time, also generating their own tons of data in real time, and are dependent on the high quality data for accurate output. We see that across the industry, many use cases have emerged. Significant opportunities exist among all sectors when organizations can better capitalize on time-oriented data. With a data platform that not only keeps up with your event data, but helps you extract real-time insights and intelligence, you can gain competitive advantage, increase revenue, reduce costs, and in some cases, save lives. While it's essential to focus on industry-specific use cases, especially in sectors like manufacturing, automotive, and retail, it is equally crucial to recognize and leverage universal use cases. These use cases, universal, transcend individual industry and can provide real-time intelligence and significant value across multiple domains. For real-time intelligence, monitoring and predictive maintenance is a universal use case. Whether it's predicting machine failures in a manufacturing plant, ensuring optimal performance of automotive parts, or maintaining the infrastructure and telecommunications, predictive maintenance offers substantial benefits. Similarly, supply chain optimization is another use case that cuts across various industries, improving efficiency and reducing costs universally. By integrating both industry-specific and universal use cases, we can provide a more comprehensive and adaptable solution that caters to a broad range of needs. The balanced approach not only enhances the relevance of the solution, but also positions real-time intelligence as versatile and future ready. You can see here on the slide, there are a number of industry-specific use cases. I won't call all of them out today, but I would encourage you to spend time looking at some of these that are relevant to your industry and trying to work through a discussion around, are there opportunities for real-time intelligence in your organization? Are there areas of capability that can provide a better customer experience, a better core business operation outcome, and also provide you the ability to think through observational analytics and provide that notion of cost management, thinking through how you can get more from the data that you have today. So with that in mind, I'd like to put up a poll. In retail, and this is a retail specific poll, and we'd ask you to please participate. What's the biggest challenge when customers suddenly buy 10 times the normal quantities of essentials during weather emergencies? And you can see here the 4 options: depletion of inventory, supply chain delays, overwhelm of staff, or all of the above. Give you just a moment to fill in that survey. And while those results come in, looking at them in real time, and I would say the majority of folks here on the call today, you see all of the above. That is your perspective. I would definitely think that that's definitely a great way to think about it. It does impact all the things above. If you voted for inventory depletion, you're absolutely right. Imagine if Kroger, the grocery store, could automatically detect unusual buying patterns in real time and trigger immediate restocking before shelves go empty. The classic, when the snowstorm comes or when a major weather event occurs, we know that grocery stores often experience the proverbial, empty shelves of bread, empty shelves of milk, and other basic essential supplies to weather out a storm. So this is an example of how real-time insights could provide the ability for restocking so that that situation is avoided. For those of you who chose supply chain delays, again, spot on. What if the moment a weather alert hits and the system automatically prioritizes emergency supplies and expedites deliveries without any human intervention? For those of you who looked at it from a staff overwhelmed perspective, you absolutely get it as well. Picture this scenario. It's 2 a.m. when that weather alert comes in and your system automatically adjusts staffing schedules and reassigns teams based on predicted demand, keeping people safe, and more importantly, making sure that resources are applied where necessary. And of course, I think the majority of you said all of the above, and you're absolutely right. There are no wrong answers in this poll. This is exactly why retail is one of the complex challenges that we see. But here's the exciting part. What if one weather event could trigger all of these responses automatically? That is the situation we're going to explore today. So Fabric Real-Time Intelligence, what it can do. A single weather event can simultaneously monitor inventory levels. It can adjust store layouts in real time, moving high demand items to more accessible locations. It can optimize the staffing schedules. In addition, bringing team members in or redistributing existing staff. And it can send targeted promotions to customers, perhaps offering delivery services when stores may be overcrowded due to demand. The key here is that all of this happens in real time, automatically, through what we call event-driven architecture. There's no waiting for someone to notice a problem, no manual intervention needed, just intelligent automated responses to real-world events. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague Subbu to take us through the real-time intelligence ingestion and architecture patterns.
Hey, thank you, Chandler. Hey, everyone. Thank you for taking your time today. I can't express the resignation here in terms of the panic buying and the kind of craziness that happens when there's a sudden weather or storm alert that happens. And last thing I would like to have happen is my manager Chandler calls me at 2 a.m. and say, "Hey, Subbu, can you restock it?" Right. So that's the last thing I should anticipate to happen. Okay, let's look at it today. I will bring up my screen here. Just keep a moment. All right. So we will look into today in terms of different ingestion, real-time intelligence architecture patterns. I will probably move away this visuals here. Right. So when we think about different architecture patterns, the first thing that we'll be thinking about is these challenges are not new, right? So we have seen industries going across real-time scenarios, the big data, the Hadoop, all these things, right? All the different technologies that may come and go, right? So we might be thinking here, what is new here? Has the industry haven't figured out the problem yet? The reality is the market, as you could see here in the screen, it remains very fragmented. So when we think about seeing the data right from the source when it happens all the way to take it into action, there are very few or limited end-to-end solutions that customers can use out of box. If you look at the different areas here, right from capturing the data from the source systems and then transporting it or ingesting it into the platform and then doing analysis on top of it and taking an action, the business action in the downstream system, each of these area, there are multiple vendors specialized on each of these area, making it a very specialized skill for the companies to act upon. And it makes the solution implementation complex and fragile, making it difficult to demonstrate the ROI. As a result, many organizations don't try or making it so cumbersome for them to try. And that's where the Microsoft Fabric comes into the picture. And the Microsoft Fabric is, if you think of it, is a unified data platform for the AI transformation. It helps, one thing which I personally like is the Fabric helps to tailor your platform for a respective audience or persona. Microsoft envisions the SaaS platform to provide unified capabilities right from the data engineering, the data factory, the data science, the analytics, creating the mobile application on top of a SQL database, the real-time intelligence that we are going to talk today, on top of it, the Power BI. Everything now comes under one umbrella, one license, one capacity. And the AI that everyone is talking right now, it's infused across all these layers, right from the data ingestion, from data factory, all the way to the Power BI and the agentic AI interface. So when we think about the real-time intelligence on Microsoft Fabric, it brings together the proven scale, reliability, and compliance of Microsoft Azure data platforms with no code, low code experience for the business users and a big business analyst. So we look at like four different elements here. First, the enterprise real-time data platforms. So the different Azure services such as event hubs, the event grids, stream analytics, or even if you think about the open source solutions like Kafka or Confluent, or the SaaS platforms that handle massive amount of the streaming data and also the event-driven data, right? That's on one side. The second, we are talking about the self-serve experience or using the Power BI, the Activator, and also the OneLake, so that the business teams don't need to be a data scientist, no need to learn the Python or R to get insights. The third one is the intelligent insights and capabilities. The AI component in the fabric is infused across all the layers, and a co-pilot sits in the center of the real-time intelligence and other components within the fabric. And there are a couple of new features that we'll talk today around anomaly detection and operational agents, which are in the private preview. And if you look at all of these together, these all in a box come in a fully integrated SaaS experience, all together in a unified data platform. And that's where the real-time intelligence sits inside the fabric as one platform. So let's take a step back, and I would like to take a moment to look into the poll that we just answered in the beginning, right? So one specific weather event that triggered on one fine early morning had different impacts all the way from the operation manager to the customer, reflecting in the business outcome. And that's where this event-driven architecture comes into picture. So if you think about real-time intelligence, it's not always about the real-time or streaming data. You can think of it more like an event-driven architecture where if certain events occur, how can I tap into that where I don't leave money in the table for the business? Traditionally, all our systems work on schedule, right? So they check for updates every hour or every minute or every day. And it we consider as a micro batch or a batch mode. And event driven architecture flips this around completely. Instead of waiting and checking for a system to respond, system responds proactively instead of reactive nature. There are three advantages to this approach, right? The first one is you use events to trigger the applications instead of manually scheduling it in the cadence. Second, you separate the event consumers and event producers, making the system more flexible and scalable. Third, as you process events as they occur, dramatically it reduces time to value for the rest of your system. So when you think about the real-time or the event-driven architecture, as we look into industry, the medallion architecture, which is the standard that we are looking into it, and it applies to the RTI within Fabric as well. So we look at like three different layers, starting from the bronze layer, where we ingest data from the raw source systems, and it gets into the bronze layer, which is the bronze table. And when you look into the systems here, the source system doesn't always have to be a streaming source. It does not always have to be an IoT system. Instead, you can have your data warehouse sitting in a Snowflake. You can have a database sitting on a SQL server. You can have your data coming from event hubs. So you can have a wide variety of data sources, and all of those can be fed into the real-time intelligence inside the fabric, where you can transform those events as and when it happen into the silver layer by using something called update policy. So the update policy, if you are a technical person, you can think of it like a trigger on the database. So it can help you update certain actions as and when data flows through. And finally, the gold layer helps you to create your aggregate view or a data mod for your business needs. Finally, you have a visualization and activator components that help you tap into the events and also call the downstream applications. And when we think about the other architectural model, so this is another architectural model that industry has seen in the past, right? That is around publisher subscriber model. It's typically very common when you have all the IoT devices that broadcast data into the events, and you capture the clients capture the broadcasted data, subscribes to it, and act upon it. So this is one pattern that we have seen, and one of the many patterns that's common in the real-time intelligence. The other pattern, which is also possible within the real-time intelligence, is tapping into the CDC, which we call as change data capture, right? So if you have a operational data warehouse or a Snowflake or any other ERP systems, if you have a change data capture enabled, real-time intelligence can tap into the change data capture and provide you an insights as and when it happens. Today, we will look into the change data capture of how a particular store operations manager tap into the data that is coming into the sales transaction order in real time into the ERP system, and how she can connect the sales that came in from the ERP with the operations data sitting in the Snowflake and make insights out of it. The key here is the real-time intelligence is not always a streaming data. It can also be your enterprise data warehouse. It can also be your SQL server. As long as you want to tap into a business intelligence based on certain events, real-time intelligence can help you tap into it. This is another area where real-time intelligence can help you. We have seen customers who tap into the observability use case where data coming from logs and other monitoring systems, real-time intelligence can use its inbuilt anomaly detection module to look into any outliers on the data and leverage the activator to trigger the downstream systems. And let me share a real world example here. So we worked with a Fortune 500 healthcare enterprise who needed to operate their modernize their operations using AI to enhance their IT operations. The challenge was a bit complex, right? So they have the infrastructure logging system, they have an application logs, and they want to kind of merge all their logging system into one platform and then do an anomaly detection and also a root cause analysis using GenAI and trigger the downstream applications like a ServiceNow or a ticketing system. And that's where we have helped the customer implement RTI with an anomaly detection module where customers are being able to do a root cause analysis based on the telemetry data that's coming in real time from the different logging applications. And as you could see here, this is a reference architecture where you can see the Azure Monitor, Pega applications, all these logging systems stream data into the event stream and then to event house, where we are able to create those anomaly detection algorithms on top of those Kusto tables, eventually calling the downstream applications on ServiceNow performing the root cause analysis. With that being said, let me introduce Sarah today. She's probably like a lot of us here, who is an operation manager, likely not in Kroger, but in this case, sitting in Seattle, handling customers across West Coast. One big pain point she had is in her day-to-day operations is that business and factory data. Business data is sitting in a Snowflake, and the factory data, the operational data, is sitting in the data warehouse in a SQL server. And both of them are in silos. And one fine morning, Sarah saw a note from a high-profile customer for a $2 million order that needs to be addressed within next 4 days, right? And what happened is traditionally, Sarah has to look into the operation data to see if that can be feasible, that can be served, and so on. And because of the siloed system, she has to rely on multiple teams, multiple hubs, multiple operations to derive insights. Now, with Fabric RTI, Sarah can just use the real-time intelligence to look into the data and see what's going on. So with that being said, I will just bring in the demo for us to look at. And feel free to use the Q&A module to see if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to answer that. All right, so as I said, Sarah had two different systems, right? So one is the Snowflake, where there was an operational data that includes all the sensors, manufacturing information, and so on. And also a SQL database sitting on Azure that served as a data warehouse. And it had all the transactional data, the sales data coming in, and so on. And today, we are going to look at the Fabric real-time intelligence on how Sarah was able to bring in the data from two different hybrid systems, right? In this case, one is a SQL data warehouse, and another is a Snowflake system, right? So it's not a streaming data, it's not an IoT data, but end of day, it's a traditional enterprise systems that we use day in and day out. And as you could see here, we have a bunch of tables that got connected into the Fabric RTI. And in this case, the raw data is coming from SQL Azure as events streaming into it. And then we have all our operation data coming from Snowflake with a concept called shortcut within Fabric. What shortcut is, it's nothing but a pointer to the actual data without actually moving the data from one system to another. In a nutshell, all you're seeing here is the Snowflake data resides in Snowflake, but it's not really physically moved into Fabric. And as you could see here, we have a bunch of tables like production metrics, maintenance logs, quality inspections, production line sensors. All these are operational data coming from Snowflake in near real time. And we have the data coming from orders or transactional systems from the ERP coming from SQL Azure. And here's how it works. So we have something called event stream that we have enabled here, which listens to the production data warehouse. On what it does is it takes the data as and when it comes from the ERP system and pushes it into what we call as event house. It is nothing but a database sitting on top of Fabric. And as you could see here, this is the workflow, and it translates to the medallion architecture that we spoke about. The data that comes from the different systems goes into the raw table, and where we have something called the update policy, and that update policy combines the data from the raw table, which is nothing but a SQL Azure, with the Snowflake business data, and able to transform it together into a core layer where the business can take insights. So what happens for Sarah right now is Sarah has got a $2 million order from a transaction system sitting in the SQL server. Now, with the ability to combine the data with Snowflake, Sarah could connect the dots and see whether that particular order coming from this customer has dependency on any of the operational data types, which includes a oil filter or engine gasket, and whether it has a quality control risk or not. Unfortunately, it has a high risk in production for the particular part order that customer has requested, and Sarah was able to spot it in near real time as and when the order comes in. So this gives the flexibility for Sarah to understand, okay, instead of waiting for days and hours with multiple cross-functional teams to query the data from different systems, Sarah can now use the real-time intelligence dashboard to connect multiple systems and act upon it. So I will just bring up back our slide for a moment here. And feel free to use the Q&A in the meantime if you have any questions. Right, so now what we have seen so far is Sarah went from discovering problems in tomorrow's report to preventing them in today's reality. That's the competitive advantage that we are seeing as an opportunity here. In a nutshell, if we want to summarize here, we had Snowflake and also we had a data warehouse. And the data flown from real time from a data warehouse into Fabric, and also the Snowflake data came from the Snowflake into this Fabric through the concept of mirroring. And what happened is Fabric can use that mirrored data as a shortcut inside real-time intelligence to connect business with operations. And in the gold layer, Sarah was able to use the instant intelligence on top of the Power BI report data activator to take actions that was impossible before. That's the transformation opportunity that we talk about today with Fabric RTI. And here's a quick snapshot of different features that's coming up on the Fabric RTI. And we'll be happy to dive deep into any of these features in our subsequent sessions. And I want to take a moment on another use case in a real world that we have been seeing with a customer. And this is another example from a manufacturing customer. And the customer has been in the industry for almost 150 years, serving across 35 locations in Southwest US. And they do commercial laundry and rental services. And we have seen the customers modernize their operation using IoT to enhance the laundry experience and improve the productivity gains. So what we have done is we leveraged the Fabric RTI to stream the data coming from the IoT hub, which is nothing but the Maple systems, into the Fabric. And then we have been developing what we call as the algorithms on top of the KQL for the operators to generate how well their productivity is across different plans and the channels. The technology behind this, as you saw, is the Fabric RTI, KQL, Data Activator, and Power BI. I mean, when we look at the benefits, it's substantial. Uh, it helps streamline the equipment performance monitoring and reporting, leveraging the IoT telemetry data coming from ironing systems and industrial equipment for proactive maintenance and optimization. And customers are also able to analyze the data in real time and also act upon the performance scoring across all the plant locations. And this is another example that we have done for the Taco Bell, which we all know the famous QSR industry. And one of the challenges that they had was the delayed insights. We all know we have been went to the Taco Bell to purchase in the retail store, right? So as and when we go and purchase in the Taco Bell store, someone puts a credit card to buy a taco or something. So what happens is it takes multiple systems and to go and reflect on the Power BI dashboard. And what we have done is we leveraged Fabric RTI to kind of minimize the hops, address the disconnected siloed systems, bring in the data as and when it flows into it to help the store managers optimize their labor staffing, improve the cash sheet reports, and have a clear visibility into their inventory. In fact, it helped the store managers get immediate and actionable insights and also reduce latency from 45 minutes to 3 minutes, enabling near real-time analytics from their POS devices. So as you can see from all these examples, Fabric RTI is not just about faster data. It's about creating intelligent automated response to real-world events, be it an event-driven architecture or a publisher subscriber, or even your enterprise data warehousing platform where data is coming in any time, right? So as and when data happens. So in any those scenarios, Fabric RTI can help you respond to those events and then transform your business and take the momentum. So what we would like to do is we would like you to offer a free discovery workshop, and you can contact us on LinkedIn here. And please feel free to use this QR code, and we'll be happy to answer any questions and also schedule a follow-up conversations on any of these topics to go further. I will leave it to Chandler.
All right, perfect, Subbu. Thank you for taking us through that. And we do have time for questions. So if there are anyone on the call or on the webinar that'd like to post a question in the chat, or I think you may be able to come off mute as well, but certainly you can post questions in the chat. We do have some time left over. I do have one question for you, Subbu, as we see if anyone on the in our audience has any questions. I was struck by some of the scenarios you mentioned, and I'm curious, what are some of the best practices you've encountered when kind of validating that data accuracy and the consistency in the pipelines? Can you, and this is kind of more on the testing and QA side of things. I'm just curious if you've had any thoughts on or what you've seen in terms of our customers who are needing to kind of go through, more on the QA side from a data validation perspective.
Absolutely. That's a great question, Chandler. I think that's one of the key areas where we have seen customers investing a lot in terms of getting the data, because data, the reports and the answers are as good as the data is, right? So and AI can work better if we have the right data pointing into it. And that's where we have seen customers where we have all these different data that's coming from our different systems. In the example that we have seen today, this sales data that's coming from an transactional systems, and we also have these sensor data, operational data coming from the Snowflake and operational systems. The moment we connect multiple systems, that could be a scenario where we will have data inconsistency about the schema not matching, or the scenarios where there will be duplicates of data coming in because you are enabling the change data capture, right? So those are different scenarios we have seen within the fabric, and that's where the segregation of these layers like bronze, silver, and gold is really helpful, right? So in the bronze, you bring the data as a single source of truth as and when it happens. And in the silver layer, you apply the transformations where we dedupe the data, we apply the transformations where we clean the data from different systems. And in the gold layer is when we create those data mods, and that help the customers to kind of create a kind of more curated layer on the gold zone. And Fabric RTI has a bunch of features that's already out in the public preview and general availability, and also something coming up in a private preview where it calls schema inference, right? So when you are bringing in multiple data and performing it in the event stream, you can look into the different schema as and when it comes up, and you can apply transformations on a different varying schema loads in near real time and load it into the fabric, right? So the schema inference for multiple data sources, the ability to segregate between bronze, silver, and gold, those are like some of the best practices we have seen with the customers who want to kind of apply the data cleansing and the quality of data at the heart.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And I had another quick question, and I was struck again by the scenario, and oftentimes data governance comes into the conversation. Many of our customers, as I mentioned during my part of the presentation, security, privacy, and the need for data access, but at the same time having the governance around that. What have you seen, or what are you hearing from customers who are working within the RTI space? How are they approaching governance, or what are some things that we're telling customers in terms of governance for managing the QA environments? Again, I'm going back to the QA environment because I think it's important that you have a healthy quality assurance process with respect to RTI. And what are some things that we're seeing or we're working on with customers around the governance discussions?
Yeah, so that's another excellent question, Chandler. Thank you for bringing it up. Right, so the governance and security, of course, as like any other enterprise platform, has been one of the prime considerations that we have always had with the customers. And when we think about unified data platforms, right, that's probably like another area where the industry is moving towards, like how we can connect multiple systems into one platform where the business can make insights. And the moment we connect multiple systems, one of the common pain point that we have seen with the customer is, okay, I have Databricks, I have Snowflake, I have Fabric, right? Now, how can I apply governance across multiple platforms? We have seen customers who have used Databricks from end to end, right? So they have a robust governance model on Databricks using Unity Catalog. And now they want to kind of try out the Fabric on the business layer, leveraging all these Copilot and real-time intelligence for the business insights and so on. So how can we integrate different platforms with the governance needs in picture? The Fabric, if you look at it, take a step back, RTI is one of the component within Fabric. And the Fabric from the ground up is built on two components, right? Two principles, I would say. One is a unified experience right from the data, which is nothing but the data, how it's been stored across one lake, which is nothing but your one drive of the data. And also the unified experience in terms of your capacity and billing, and also the unified security, right? So across your data engineering to the real-time intelligence to the Copilot, the security model, you don't have to create multiple applications or multiple configurations at each level. So once you apply security at one layer, it gets reflected at multiple places. And when we think about different systems here, right from Databricks to Snowflake and so on, Fabric has this ability to kind of mirror the data and the governance coming from the Databricks into Fabric, right? So now you have all the governance gets rolled into the Fabric, and you can apply the security principles on top of it. Right now you have to manually apply the principles, but in the roadmap, you'll be able to kind of automatically synchronize those governance principles across multiple systems. And that's where we have seen customers adopt Microsoft Purview as another layer on top of the fabric, and fabric and purview are deeply integrated. So in every aspect of fabric, you have a purview component that shows you the lineage, that shows you the tracking, and that shows you the security of how data is being flowing across the system. So these are two fundamental principles by which the fabric operates on the unified experience, providing end-to-end, and also the security and governance with the diverse platforms.
Very well. And I had just one last question. I'm not seeing any questions come from the audience, but I do have one last question, and then we'll wrap up today's webinar. If, with your experiences, what's the one takeaway that you want to provide this audience in terms of the most important thing for an organization that's entering into this conversation or thinking through real-time intelligence? What's the one thing you want to make sure customers keep an eye on or should be, the primary focus as they start that journey?
Yeah, so I think I probably want to take a step back here, right? We have seen scenarios where technology will come, technology will go, or there may be scenarios where it's just a hype, right? But the thing here is all these real-time intelligence, I think it goes back to our key takeaways. So there is a buzz around RTI, there is a buzz around real-time intelligence and so on. But when you think about real-time intelligence, you don't have to think about whether it's a real time per se, right? The cadence could be in a matter of minutes, matter of seconds, can be sub-second, or it can be matter of few minutes to even to an hour, right? The question is not about the time cadence, right? The question is about, are you tapping into your data point or an event that will let you money off the table for your business, right? Can I tap into an event as and when it happens? Can I tap into a data point as and when it happens so that my team is not overstressed or stretched across the time, right? So real-time intelligence on Fabric, even though the names are just real-time, you don't have to think it as a real-time. It's an event-driven intelligence. So think of any system that you have in your enterprise, be it Databricks, be it Snowflake, be it your on-premise SQL Server, be it anything, right? So any systems that you may have will have some data point that would need attention at right time, at right moment. And that's where RTA could come into picture. It doesn't always have to be streaming data, but any data point that needs to be acted upon, that can be a good use case for RTI. And it can combine other components within Fabric as well.
I think that's a great answer, and I appreciate those insights. And I think that's a great way for us to wrap up today's webinar. I just want to flash up again the offer for a free discovery workshop. Please, if there's interest, please reach out to us, myself or Subbu, and we'd be happy to sit down with you and walk through your use case and potential what opportunities there may be to leverage this quite frankly, amazing technology stack that Microsoft has integrated into Microsoft Fabric. Well, with that, I want to thank everyone for your time today. If there are any follow-up questions, again, reach out to us via the links you see here or connect with us on LinkedIn. And with that, we will go ahead and conclude the webinar. Again, thank you for your time and have a great day.